All right. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Omar Stennett, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah, man, this is our live stream for today. Yeah, we're going to talk about some cricket. The West Indies have the first test coming up, so we want to discuss that, just give you our possible starting 11 and to get your feedback. So once you come on, please remember to like and share. If you have not, please remember to subscribe to the channel. We have a special guest who will be joining us for this evening. His name is Mr. Owen Speid. Yeah, man, he's a cricket coach, and so he's going to give us his expert analysis and his team selection. But we always want to make sure that we play our introduction video. Yeah, man, so you can know about I Am Sure Sport. So stay tuned. Yeah, and listen up for. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports.
I am sure sports. You know me there. I'm coach to coach representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over. Yes, sir. For the date, don't you want to love over, yes, sir.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, that is a big intro. So welcome again. So good to have you. Remember, we have our comment section. So if at any point you have a question or you have a comment, please let us know. Like I said, the West Indies cricket team, they play the first test this week. The game begins on Thursday. They were supposed to cut the squad down to 13 from 17. They had selected 17 players. So let me give you the 17. And then from the 17 players, we are just going to give our picks, for the possible starting level and see if we can get that right. Yeah, we have, yeah, man, just let us know what would be your starting 11. If you don't know, this is the 17-man provisional squad. Craig Brathwaite is the captain. Jermaine Blackwood is the vice captain. Nkrumah Bonner, Darren Bravo, Ruston Chase, Raheem Cornwall, Joshua Da Silva, Shannon Gabriel, Jamar Hamilton, Jason Holder, Shea Hope, Alzari Joseph, Kyle Mears, Kieran Powell, Kemar Rouge, Jaden Seals, and Jamel Warrican. Just one notable absentee is John Campbell, who has had a dismal run, and so he was excluded from the 17. Like I said, we have a very special guest. His name is Mr. Owen Speid. He will be joining us a little later to discuss, his thoughts on team selection. But let me just give you some stuff that happened today. You may know, you may not know, but the Reggae Boys, they played earlier today against Serbia, earlier this morning, Jamaican time. And they were, yes, they actually tied the game 1-1. Very good performance by Blair Turgott. He played very well, had a very good performance. Yeah, Damian Lowe played center midfield and he played well. So some very good performance for the Jamaica team. And sometimes we criticize them when they do wrong, and then when they get things right, we don't seem to speak good of them. And so the JFF and the coach they did well in spite of all the difficulties to produce a good result. And so we want to commend them for that. The next game will be against the Japan Olympic team, and that is on Friday, 11:30 Jamaica time. I think it will be shown on CVM. And then our Reggae girls, they have two games coming up. They have a game against Nigeria, and they have a game against the United States of America. Both games are being played over there in the States. And so check that out as well. The 10th and the 13th is when those games will be played. And so going to be a busy time, when the players come back from Japan where they are right now, they will have to be engaged in preparation for the Gold Cup. But today is a cricket day, and we're going to talk about some West Indies cricket. I have a cricket, like I said, he's a guru, he's a coach, he's an expert. He knows way more than me when it comes down to cricket. You probably know him as the past president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, but he is a cricketer and a cricket coach. I believe his pedigree includes coaching Mona High School in what they call it, Grey Shield. I think he coached Mona High School in Grey Shield. But without any further ado, I'm going to ask my good friend. They call him Principal on a calling program on KLAS-FM. If you don't know, he's from a sporting family, because they are good administratively and they also play a little sport. He has a brother that is highly involved in a next sport. One got the football in genes, one got the cricket in genes. But I'll let Mr. Speed take some time to tell you a little bit about his time in cricket and his knowledge of cricket. Welcome,
Yes,
my friend.
good evening and good evening to all the listeners, man. I can tell you, as they call you, Manning's man, but you are the great. You are greater than just Manning's man, I want to say thanks for having me on, and welcome to all the listeners and so on, and the viewers. I just want to say that I always told my brother, Rudolph, that I am the better footballer. And he thinks that he would have been the better cricketer had
Really?
he persisted and so on. But yeah, we are in the sports thing, and it's a part of life. It's something that is very good for all of us to be involved in some other kind of activities apart from what we do on a day-to-day basis to earn a living. So this is a part of me. Cricket is my game. I played. In fact, I made my debut for Titchfield High School, high school I attended. I made my debut in a final, and indeed, everybody wrote me off throughout the season. But when we reached the finals against States, the openers ran away, couldn't find them because they saw McLeod, and it was Kenneth McLeod and Calvin Valentine. Maybe many of you watching wouldn't know. Calvin Valentine was the fastest schoolboy bowler I batted against. He was faster than Ken McLeod in those days. I don't know why he stopped playing cricket, but I can tell you that Whoppi Valentine very quick, and I played the final.
Hold on. You're talking Calvin Valentine that plays football? Calvin Whoppi was a cricketer?
Yes, he was. Wow. He was fast. In fact, I faced him that evening, and it was terrifying. He was more aggressive and everything, more than Ken McLeod. Ken McLeod, Snake, they call him Snake. And Dwight Meekle was on that team too, and I think Larry Cunningham was on that team. Very good States team. Nigel Kennedy, I think, was the captain at the time. And that's when I made my debut after being written off for the entire season. And I played 2 years after that.
Well, you have to tell us how many runs you made,
Well, what happened is that the coach consulted me a week before because there were whispers that the openers wouldn't turn up for the match because they played against Snake the year before, and Snake lifted up the collar, bowler delivery, and it lifted the collar of one of the openers, brushed the collar, and the shirt collar, and flicked it on the way to the keeper and so on, and they decided that they weren't turning up. And the coach asked me, Coach Noel Cousins, great coach, Casey Old Boy, asked me if I would be willing to step up and open. And I said to him, well, I didn't see those bowlers last year. So, and once I can see the ball, I can bat it. And I didn't see them. I don't know how fast they are or whatever, but once I can see the ball, I can bat it. He said, well, if you can bat me 1 hour, I'm good. And I did. They declared when the rain fell at Melbourne, they declared the evening and put us in on the wet pitch. That time pitches were not even covered much. And we went in and I batted the entire evening and I batted the next day. I made 4 runs. 1-4 off the same one there, Snake. 1-4.
McLeod.
And that's all I made. But the coach congratulated me when I was coming off and said, you did the job.
Okay,
put on 37 for the first wicket.
And that would have been the Headley Cup. Right, and Stats won. I think Stats won Headley Cup.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Stats, it was difficult to beat Stats back in those days. I mean, Stats was like and like how you have the FCs where they pick people from all over the country and put them there in a camp and all that. They had the dorms and so on. So you wouldn't be beating Stats in those days.
And so who were there any standout player on your Teachfield team at that time?
Garfield Wildman and Carl Brissett. Those two were excellent players. In fact, Wildman made the youth team the following year.
Awesome.
And but he went away. He played some very good cricket, played Senior Cup, Brissett as well. Very unfortunate not to have gone further, both of them, I think.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well, and I also know you did some coaching as well. I know at the high school level, I think at Mona High School, I don't know if you coach anywhere else, but what was that like and where are the places that you have coached and some of the players that you would have coached and any achievements in terms of coaching?
All right. So at all levels, I coach at all levels. So I coach from prep school, primary school. I coached at Windward Road Primary and Junior High, the junior high cricket in those days, Carib Cement. They had both sections, and we did the all age section. I coached Windward Road. We went to finals, Kingston finals, that kind of thing. I think we won Kingston finals 1 year and played against the St. Andrew final where we got beaten by Padmore.
That was the Carib Cement competition.
Yes, that was. And I coached at Mona High. I coached at Mona Prep. Mona Prep, I spent a little time at Mona Prep and we won the title at Mona Prep, the prep school competition under my coaching. And we reached several finals in the Grace Shield. We reached finals in the knockout. It was a JIIC knockout competition, 40 overs aside, that kind of thing, 50 overs. I think it turned to 50 overs after a time. And we reached finals a couple of times with Eltham. They beat us both on both occasions. Shakaya Thomas,
right? Whatever happened to that guy? That guy was making so much runs in schoolboy cricket and just disappeared.
Put him down early and we paid the price. We put him down early and we paid the price. He was a good player, unsided though. So if you could keep it offside, then he would be in trouble. And close to him on the offside, he would be in trouble. But we got some good returns. We reached the finals. We were up from A-League up to Premier League in the Grace Shield. That's we reached the finals of the A-League. That's how. And I mean, when I went to Mona High School and started coaching, the season before that, Mona got bowled out for 4 and 11 in the same season. And then I went and actually begged the job because I was saying there couldn't be a coach and the team is getting bowled out for 11 and 4 runs and so on. St. Catherine and Georges did the damage there. Georges bowled them out for 11. St. Catherine, I think, bowled them out for 4 or something like that. And I begged that job. And the first year I went to Mona and coached, we reached the semifinals of the under 16 because I was concentrating on the under 16 first. And that guy, Tamar Lambert, knocked us out. We reached the semi-finals, and he knocked us out. He made a double century. Just coming up the ladder and so on. So we got our stick, and we took our licks, and we came back, and then we reached the finals of the Grey Shield and so on. But all of that, I coached Senior Cup at Kingston and St. Andrew for about 5 weeks.
Okay.
I got that team. And Kingston and St. Andrew was on a losing streak for about 3 years. And I took the team. And the first match we played that season, we went to Manchester and beat them on their own soil in Manchester. So I have a few things that we can say, even though I didn't win a title with them.
Anything, right?
I can say they were massive achievements over the time.
Yeah,
I remember when I was at St. Andrew, one game we played against Clarendon, and both openers got a century. One of them was a guy who batted at like number 6, 7, 8, and he was doing some wicket keeping, and I worked on him and so on, and put him to open, and he made a century. These are little things that I look at to measure success. It's not
people
always
development, not always the trophy, not just the trophy, but just developing a person, talent and gift and technique and stuff. Sometimes it's way more important, even if you never win the title. Because especially at the school level, there are many schools that are not as equipped to probably win the Headley Cup, the Grey Shield, if it's football, the Doncaster Cup or the Manning Cup. But you may have 4 good footballers, 4 good cricketers, 4 good sprinters. And if you can invest your time in developing them, that is a victory in and of itself.
Right. You know? I can tell you to my host that I one season at Mona High, after taking over a team that was bowled out for 4 and 11, one season at Mona High, we got 9 centuries in the camp. We got 9 centuries, including a double century in the camp. I think it was 2006. All right, and so these are the achievements. While I'm the principal at Rosso Primary, I coached that primary, the team there too. So I didn't just stay inside the office. I did some more coaching the cricket team, and produced a few good players who got some good schools to attend because they could play cricket as well. So these are achievements that I really treasure, and whether or not we win a title.
It's more than that, yeah. Well, big cricket coming up. Many people say, well, that England and New Zealand playing, and I think that game, that the first test ended in a draw. People felt like England should have chased down the runs. It's always difficult on that final day, depending on the kind of bowling that a team may face. They may think like, you know what, let's just play for the draw instead of going after the runs and losing. Because I don't think people realize sometimes how difficult chasing on a 5th-day pitch is against quality bowling. It's kind of different from your 50 over game. So it may be 50 over. You're already playing like 4 days, and so the wear and tear on the body and on the mind sometimes can affect your focus and stuff like that. So that ended in a draw, and then our local team, the West Indies, they take on South Africa. Game starts on Thursday, and so we want to discuss that. I don't know if you have the list of the 17 players, because they were supposed to name the 13 today, but I haven't heard any announcement. I don't know if it's later in the evening. But based on that 17, that they dropped John Campbell. Do you think that was the best decision, or he should have been kept in as part of the 17, or he has not been, because he's the most notable absentee from the 17-man squad?
All right,
what are your thoughts on that?
All right, so we can just talk a little about the chasing of the runs with the New Zealand team, the English team. You see, chasing is always difficult, especially if you have any quality, any semblance of quality in the bowling attack. Chasing runs, anything over 250, 300 runs, chasing can be a challenge. And so we can't discount that, because there's the scoreboard pressure and all of that. And then you have to look to whether or not the middle order is experienced, whether or not the batting overall is experienced. So you look at what England carried there in terms of experience. If they had their best players, all of these things. And so you have to measure all of those things and put it into perspective. England lost the series before that, I think 3-1, and they didn't to India. They didn't want to come now and lose,
Yeah.
go down 1-0 right here now, and then the next thing they go 2-0 down and all that. So they have something to protect as well. And sometimes it is just good that you avoid being defeated. When you are doing sports, you can win the battle, one or two battles, and you lose the war. So England, I think they played safe, and I think it was the right thing for them to do under the circumstances. New Zealand has a good bowling team.
Yeah.
They have a good team all round, and you just want to leave it open and wait and see what will happen for the final test.
Yeah.
So it's everything to play for the final test there now between them. Looking at the West Indies, I agree that John Campbell is not in the best of form. I believe too, though, and I have to say it because I have to say the thing that I see in front of me. I think that John Campbell is confused. I think it boils down to coaching and how positive the coaches are and so on. Because you could see him in some of the games almost leaving and playing at the same time. That is a sign of a confused man. I think one of the time he was playing and leaving at the same time, the ball knocked the bat
Yeah.
against the stump. And I'm saying these are things that show you the signs of confusion. If they allow Campbell to play as he can play, I think he'll do better. But at this time, I think the drop is justified. They have to try something else because he's not producing. I believe in him, though. I believe that he has better quality, better potential, better ability than what he has shown in recent times. And I just think that if they allow him to play his natural game, that he'll be much better off. If you look at all the great batsmen over the years, almost all of them are people who play shots. They know when to mix it, yes, and so on, but they play shots. They have their shots and they have their pet shots and all these kinds of things. John seems to be confused to me, and that's my humble view, but that is what I picked up as a coach, coaching over the years. And if I saw that in my camp and see a batsman who was normally very positive, playing and leaving at the same time, then I would think that he's confused in his mind. And the coaches have to help him to sort that out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I tend to agree with that because the truth is he has always been known as an aggressive batsman because there are many people who believe that he's even better at the shorter version. And so I think coming into the test side, he was being cultured to tame his aggression. And I think that led to some of the confusion that you speak about. There's a tentativeness in, like I said, in the shot playing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, Desmond Haynes and Gordon Greenwich, they kept their aggressive nature right throughout their career, whether the team was doing well or not. Brian Lara, because sometimes you have to play your best game to succeed. Because when you try to go ahead.
They have their pet shots, and whenever you bowl it there, you know it's going to go. Those guys, almost all great batsmen, you bowl it there, you know they are going to hit it, and they're going to hit it to the boundary. John doesn't seem to have a shot that you could say that shot is
Like
his.
his go-to shot, yeah.
Right. So if the shot, if it comes along, but I know him from he was like 19, 18, maybe a little younger.
Went to Turkey. He was at
yes,
Turkey.
I've seen him in the youth competition, in the youth trial and so on, and he would hit the ball way up in the stands from that age, and like at will, like he would, and as I heard it, somebody was saying to me that he would say to some bowlers, if you bowl it there again, I will hit it somewhere, and it comes along almost immediately after, and he hit the ball same place where he said he would hit it. That's the type of batsman that I knew him to be. And if you try to change people like that, then you're going to confuse them.
Mess up the game, especially at this stage of their career.
Yeah, what they need to do is strengthen what is strengthening. Whatever he's strong in, let him
Yeah.
practice
Focus
that.
on that. Yeah.
Yes, and let him continue to build on that and work from there.
Well,
That is
well, someone will say to you that we can afford to do that in a very good team. But when you have an average team, you don't have the luxury of playing like that because you do so to the peril of the entire squad. So maybe that is part of the West Indies cricket setup thinking, you know?
well, maybe we can see the results of that. He's producing below average now. He's average,
Yeah.
but he's producing way down below the average. So I don't. But his omission is just
Justified.
yeah,
Right.
justified or justifiable. you
Just
know.
a favor, yeah. All right, so well, let's then look at I think you both of us have the list of 17 players. So based on the practice game, you know, Kieran Powell did well, Shea Hope did well, Jaden Sales, one of the new bowlers, he did well because I think we have been having some issues in bowling with the 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 health of Shannon Gabriel. He always seems to break down, but he does well, and we're in the Caribbean. So, I mean, what 11? Maybe we can discuss that together. Like, who would you open the batting with? You know, we can. Um, they are going to make their selections, but we're just speaking based on what we see in terms of the stats, the scores, and what we know. Like, who would you open with? The captain is definitely there. Who opens with the captain?
All right, so the captain is number one pick there. He did some runs, made some good runs the last time. As it stands, I would gamble with Shy Hope to partner him, and I would definitely look at Bonner. I would have Bonner, maybe not in the same order, but I would have Bonner with Kyle Mears. He has to keep riding on the double century for
All
a
right,
little time.
but let's go through it. Let's go through it one by one because this is interesting because as there has been a pattern with this team, which is in the test games, they have always opened with a left and right hand combination as best as they can. So instead of Kieran Powell, you'd open with two right-handers, Shea Hope
Yes,
and and Brathwaite. All right.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
your one and your two. And
You see that right and left hand thing. It's something that you should look at, and everybody would want to look at. If you understand cricket well, because it will. But when you have experienced bowlers and so on, and they know what they are doing, it doesn't count for a lot. You use your two most solid batters to open the innings, whether they are right-handers or left-handers. The world's greatest ever pair of opening batters, both of them were right-handers. Gordon Greenwich and Desmond Haynes, they were
yes,
two right-handers, right? And they produced the results. They were the best people in the position at the time. And if these two are the best at this time, then I don't think that should count for much whether they are right hand or
yeah.
left hand.
You know what some people are going to say? Do you play your best batsman or do you play the best batsman in those positions? Meaning, when a man is a designated opener, how much weight does that carry? Because people will say, but Shea Hope has never opened in test before. Kieran Powell is a designated opener. Why would you choose? I agree, but just to let you know that I agree with Shea Hope, but I'm just talking about some of the stuff that people will say to ensure
Yeah.
that Kieran Powell plays in this team.
All right. So Kieran Powell got a good run at opening. Shy Hope, he didn't produce really. He made two centuries in a match. I think he was immortal already. I think he made two centuries in one match. I can't remember against who, but I know that he did make two centuries in
Yeah.
a single game.
Shea Hope, it was against
Shy Hope
England.
did it already too.
I think it was against England.
Yeah, against England, in England.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so that tells you that he has quality. I mean, anybody will tell you that James Anderson, Stuart Broad, and those bowlers in England can equal, they can match any bowlers, any set of bowlers anywhere in the world in terms of quality when they are in England. You wouldn't find much better bowling than what Broad and Anderson and company could put down in England in those conditions. Anywhere else around the world, they could not be bettered really. And so when you look at that situation and to see that he made 2 centuries in a game, he was immortal. That's the term that we use for people who don't know. The immortal. When you make 2 centuries in a
Yes.
single test match, they say you are immortal. He was immortal in England under those conditions where the ball will swing around and whatever. And so he must have had some quality. Shai Hope did not. He opened for the West Indies in the ODI version. 50 overs cricket is, you're talking about 300 deliveries. And I've seen him bat way down into the 40th over and so on sometimes. And so that tells you that he can bat a bit. We are not saying that he's going to be the greatest, but I think he opened in the warm-up game. He opened and he made some runs. I don't have a problem giving him a shot at it because we must learn that we have to experiment sometimes. It's cricket. You will never know what is right, what is wrong until you try the thing. And when you see it work, that's the only time you'll be able to judge. I am willing to give him a chance to open. And when and you just never know, he might now do some things that the world of cricket and West Indians in particular may just enjoy going forward.
All right, so that's Craig Brathwaite, Shai Hope, and then your number 3 would have to be Nkrumah Bonner, because there's no other person who bats in that position.
Right. So I am not saying it has to be, but he did make some runs the last time he played in that position.
Yeah.
I think he made a century playing in that position.
Yes.
So you don't mess around with something that has worked. If it has worked, then and you have the man there still in the team, put him back at the same position, allow him to settle in there, or to whether one way or the other, make a fool of himself or settle in there. So, but you have to give him that opportunity again. So I don't have any qualms with saying Bonner.
So Bonner, that's 3. 4, you say Kyle Mayers?
I probably would not. I probably would look at Kyle Mayers for a lower position, maybe 5 or 6. But
So
I would be dancing.
Who bats at 4?
Hold on. I would be searching around. I would be juggling it a little bit to see whether Kyle Mayers or Ruslan or Black. Yeah. It would be a puzzle. It would be a puzzle for me. You pick anything out of the hat. But I have an idea of my top 6. And you could pick anything out of the hat and bat them 4, 5, 6.
All right. So let's go with this. So we have Brathwaite and Hope, Bonner, Kyle Mayers, the vice captain Blackwood.
That's Ruslan Chase.
Oh, so Ruslan Chase is in your team.
Yes.
All right, 6.
He's a must. He's a must for my team. I wouldn't pick a team like now and leave Ruslan Chase out of it.
All right, so that's 6. Then you have Jason Holder, who is 7.
And the keeper.
The keeper, that's 8. All right. So now we're down to
9. Right.
9 is
Cornwall will have to play based on all that I'm seeing.
So Cornwall is 9.
Yes,
so
and 2 pace with Jason Holder.
So you have
and Kemar Roach is a sure shot. He must play. Once he's fit, he has to play.
That's 10.
Right. So
and who are you giving the final spot to? Joseph or Gabriel?
I pick Gabriel. I would play Gabriel.
Okay.
But I want to expand on something here, you see? You're hearing me, right?
Yeah, man. Go ahead. Yes.
I want to expand on something here. You see, Ruslan Chase, I would not pick a West Indies 11 without Chase in there. I believe that Chase, over time, will enjoy even maybe more success as a bowler, a spin bowler, than even Cornwall. I think if you notice, and I think he's steady enough to give you a 40, 45 or 50 runs in good succession, in good you know, periodically, he will give you a good 45, a good 50. I think, let me tell you, I noticed that over the years, and I'm comparing him to some other bowlers now who they pick sometimes to be spinners.
Like
Over the
Permal
years,
and Bishu.
yes, over the years, Chase normally gets the ball when batsmen are set. If you notice that, and many people might not pick that up, but it's not normal for Chase to get the ball to bowl to fresh batsmen unless he broke the pair himself and then a fresh batsman comes in. So when he comes to bowl, batsmen are generally well set.
Well said.
It's not like Cornwall, who they sometimes even open the bowling with Cornwall or bring him on first change, and so he bowls some people when they are just at the crease, just arrive at the crease, that kind of
Yes.
thing. It's normally Chase the call, and Chase may break the partnership, a big partnership, and then he gets a chance to bowl because they watch him, and if he continues, then they continue to bowl him. But you would have had to have some quality for you to be able to be consistently breaking partnerships when people are well set. And you will notice that Chase is average and so on. And I don't watch averages alone when I am talking cricket, because averages can be misleading and
Yeah.
very much misleading too. So I don't pay attention a lot, well, for the most part, to averages. But I can tell you that Chase has gotten an 8 wicket haul in an inning already, and that has showed me that he can bowl. And if you
Yeah.
notice, around the world, people are not batting slow bowling at all well. Joe
I'm
Root
wondering. Yeah, I think though, and I hear the argument for Chase. I don't have a problem with him being in this side. The only thing I'd question is the pitch that we play on out here. Is
slow
it
and low,
conducive? Is it
slow and
conducive to
low.
having Raheem Cornwall and Ralston Chase in the same
Yeah.
squad, and then have a Gabriel who can't bowl long spell and breaks down most of
The,
the
the,
times?
the
That
other
is,
two,
yeah,
the other two who can bowl medium pace, and Kyle Mears, who can bowl
right, yeah,
medium pace.
yeah.
You don't need to have Kyle Mears, who can bowl a good medium pace, in a team with Jason Holder, who can bowl a long spell, and Roach, who can bowl a long spell.
But they
So
haven't been using Kyle Mears to bowl a lot though.
yeah, of course they have. In the last series in in against Sri Lanka, he bowled quite a lot.
No, really?
Yes.
Against Sri Lanka? Well, in the last
Yes.
test, but for leading up to the last test, he wasn't getting a lot of. We were wondering why he wasn't
Because
bowling.
because they didn't need him. But I'm telling you that he got a chance and he got a good ball. And if you have, and I thought they made a mistake in that selection too, because that match they played 4 fast bowlers along with Kyle Mears, and that was
Right, right. They did
unnecessary.
do that. Yeah.
That was
I think
unnecessary.
I think it was. I think they were trying to get the balance because Alzari Joseph was making
He
some
should
runs.
not have played. He should not have played. I would have preferred to see Chase in there over Alzari Joseph any day.
But you know what? Alzari Joseph, to be honest, is one of the youngsters that I think the West Indies Cricket Board or Cricket West Indies have more faith in him than I do. I think
We
there
can,
are other young bowlers around, like Shamar Holder. I have a lot of time for. I think like Shamar Holder to me provides better quality in terms of the bowling. He may not be able to deliver with the bat, but do you need that when you have such a long batting lineup? When Cornwall can also bat, Holder can bat. Do you really need that? And I think maybe this youngster Jaden Sears is one of the persons to come in. But I have not been impressed with Alzari Joseph's bowling. Um,
um,
I don't know.
Sale,
Maybe I am missing something. Maybe I am not seeing something, or I'm not as versed in terms of cricketing knowledge. But I don't see what he has.
um, Alzari has not produced. Alzari has never taken a 5 wicket haul in Test cricket.
Yeah.
You know that. And so I have seen where Ruston Chase has taken 8 wicket in an inning, and he has had some 5 wicket hauls too to go with that. So it's not a fluke. And I am telling you that the world is not playing slow bowling. I've seen where Joe Root dismantled the same South African side, picking up 4 wickets one late one afternoon on the fourth day and put his team in reach of victory. Joe Root just took the ball and immediately 4 of them just succumbed to his slow bowling. The world is not batting slow bowling. And we have seen it in all of the teams. And it's not just a one team or two, it's all of the teams.
Yeah, we saw it in England's tour of India.
Yeah, Warwican came and Warwican got some wickets too. So I'm just saying that even though you might say, then why not Warwican then instead of having two similar type of bowlers, two off spinners. They are off spinners, but both of them bowl differently.
Because I think Cornwall bowls with a lot more pace.
Right.
He uses a lot more pace when he bowls, more
right,
so than
out of his shoulder. So he's just going to come out and skid off. Chase understands how to bowl in Test cricket. I can see that because if you notice him, his economy rate is fairly good too, and he has been playing for quite some time. He has a good understanding of how to bowl in Test cricket, right? So
I think one of the unfortunate things is that imagine we have had this conversation, selected a West Indies team that have a Darren Bravo and his name not even mentioned in the batting order.
The truth though is, even though I wouldn't select him now, but I can see that he might just jolly well get a space in short order too. I mean,
over who?
I wouldn't rule him out. Well, you can't jump ahead and say over who now.
Right, you have to watch performance. Well, that is true.
Performance, yes. Yeah. And sometimes it's not even performance. Sometimes it's like just injury to somebody. I can remember when Richard Richardson got in. I think Logie was injured. Richard Richardson got in, and these things happen, right? So these are some of the things that can just spring up, and I wouldn't rule out Darren Bravo. I believe with all of the talks that are going around, I still think that Hetmeyer and Shy Hope and Bravo, they are three of the best batters we have in the Caribbean.
I have a lot of time for Kieran Powell though. I felt like when he was failing, because he started out very well, he was failing. I don't think he was dealt with properly, and then he had to go to baseball. I think he had this attempt for going into baseball. I think his father and the West Indies Cricket Board, there was some issues over there, and so he wasn't playing cricket for a long while. And I think that is what messed him up. It's the same thing I said with Darren Bravo. I think his time out of cricket during the Dave Cameron era kind of stagnated his own growth. I think the same thing also is going to happen to Hetmeyer. I think Hetmeyer has been out of the West Indies side for such a long time. How do they continue their development when they're not even playing any competitive cricket? There should be a better system. If these players are as you say, three of our best batsmen. I mean, when last has Hetmeyer been in a West Indies squad to play a Test match?
Good, and I am not saying for one minute. We are seeing that Powell played 40 Test matches, and he scored what, 3 centuries? He scored 2 of them in one game. You could look at Shy Hope too and say a similar thing. But now they are trying him at a different position, and that makes a difference. Kieran Powell was always opening, and he played 40 Test matches and made 3 centuries. That's how many per Test match. And so you have to look at these things. You have to look at these things, and I am not saying I wouldn't write him off either, but give him a chance to play some more cricket. Some more 4-day cricket, that kind of thing, then chances are he could redeem himself, he could come back in. And we have to also look at what Shy Hope will do as well, because you're not giving him a position and telling him to keep it for posterity. He's going to have to perform.
Yeah, and I
So
think because Bonner is going to be knocking on the door, and Powell is there knocking on the door. And other batsmen, I think like Blackwood, I, I know he's a vice captain, but I felt like he could have done better in Bangladesh. Was it Bangladesh? Bangladesh.
mhm. I think too that Blackwood maybe should not have been given the vice captaincy's band. Quite
Yeah.
frankly, I think if when you look at the team, if if um if our captain,
If Bravo was in there, if everybody's but and would Blackwood play?
no, I am saying if you have a team like this and it is a fairly inexperienced team, right? It's an inexperienced team, the entire team, really, if you ask me. Um, because I don't just judge experience by how old you are and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's
How
it's
many
a
games?
fairly inexperienced team. I believe that if Craig Brathwaite comes down sick and having to leave the field, I think the best person to be the vice captain would have been Jason Holder,
Uh,
regardless.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
think all right. It's just like if you're the principal of a school
Hmm.
and someone comes in um, and instead of removing you, they demo, they demote you to the vice. I think that was the reason. I felt like it almost felt like we're demoting you instead of taking the, I think it's easier to take the captaincy from the person than to demote the person to. That's how I think it feels. Maybe that is the reasoning behind it. I know that just
Yeah, yeah,
that's
but
my thought.
we have to play cricket and not emotions. We have to look at who can do a job. Which team has Blackwood captained before? Anywhere.
Yeah, and I think it is important that now he captains the Jamaica Super 50 team.
But is he captaining it?
Well, we will
Has he
see.
ever captained it?
No, and I
Has he
know
ever
that
captained Jamaica?
well, I don't think he has ever captain, but I
Has he ever captained at the senior cup level?
no man, I know what I'm saying. No, he may not remember because remember Jason Holder was not part of the team that Blackwood became the vice captain initially.
No, but he is
He
now.
didn't what I'm saying though, he didn't travel. So he didn't travel. Blackwood became the captain, and they had a new captain. Blackwood did well in the vice captaincy role.
How?
All right. Huh?
What is the measuring stick?
Well, I mean, he scored. I mean, I think he scored a century. No man, he did what?
Yeah.
Like his performance improved, and that they could say the new responsibility enhanced his performance. I
No,
mean, it may be not
that's not
causation, but
true.
it probably correlation. There may be a correlation with
No,
both things.
there's no evidence to support that. There is
But there's
absolutely
no,
no evidence to support. Well, let me finish. There
yeah.
can't be any evidence to support that kind of argument because Blackwood is no stranger to making a century or
For the
making
West Indies,
50s. Yes, for making 50s. Blackwood
no
has
centuries,
Blackwood,
centuries. I'm talking about.
he made 2 centuries before this one. He has gone what, 3 centuries now?
No, the first time he became the captain was when he made his first century for the West Indies.
Captain, vice captain.
Vice captain, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So his batting improved once he became vice captain.
But you can't put it down to that. That's not the first. That's not the first. You can't put it down to that. There's no way you could put it down to that for one series.
Well, fine, but I think that may have been, I don't know the reasons behind it. I wouldn't mind Jason Holder being a vice captain, but most times, and I've seen it with the Indian team, when they bring in a new captain, when Kohli became the captain, Dhoni wasn't the vice captain. It's like it's
Listen, listen,
that's what I'm saying. It
listen,
happened with England. It seemed
listen
like
to me.
no man. Let me say this. It seemed like it is a pattern in cricket. Maybe it ought not to be, but the pattern that I've seen in a lot of the teams is that once they bring in a new captain, it's like they bring in somebody that captain is close to to captain with them. But go ahead.
Pattern doesn't necessarily mean sense, good sense.
True.
What we have, and it's not true, because to say that Blackwood, because he became vice captain and so on, Blackwood scored a century before that, and before that too, Blackwood scored something like 12 50s in 20 matches, 36, 35 matches. He scored a century before, and he also scored. So he's accustomed to scoring half centuries before that. In fact, I was wondering why
So
they
in
dropped him.
Bangladesh, because he became the captain vice captain, sorry, in Bangladesh, who did he have a century against before Bangladesh?
I don't know, but he has scored 2 centuries already.
Right.
He scored 2 centuries now, so one before he became vice captain years ago, and now he scores another one. So I am not going to put it down to the fact that he now becomes the vice captain. That is why his performance. I'm not doing that, and that is not reasonable to do either.
No, man, I'm not saying. I am saying that it may not be, but I can see people said, well, listen, this is what the man did. Fine. It
It's
may not be
nothing
the only.
new. It's nothing new that he did. He made century before that, so it's nothing new.
No, man. All right. No, but listen. We're agreeing, We are agreeing that it should not be the prerequisite for a person becoming a captain or a vice captain.
The
All right.
question is, can he handle the team out there in a test match? That is my question, and I have serious reservations, because he has never captained anything, not even his plate of food before.
Well, I hear you, but I just know maybe it is madness, but I know that part of the thing that I've seen is that when there's a new captain, if the new captain is still a part of that team, generally they don't generally, and maybe it's a bad precedent, but generally they don't have that person
I wouldn't make a big issue about
as
it. All
big.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, I am not making a big issue. I'm just saying that, but it's only because you raised the point of his production and so on, and I made any more mention. But I wouldn't make any big issue about them naming him the vice captain. All I'm saying is that I believe that they should give somebody more senior that post, because you're really not picking him to lead the team, but contingency, and the team may be at a critical stage, and the captain has to leave the field, and you're putting in a Jermaine Blackwood to captain the team out there on a critical stage against a good team. It's not like you're playing Bangladesh now, or Sri Lanka, or those teams. You're playing against good teams, and you leave them out there, a very inexperienced bunch, and you leave them out there for Blackwood to captain. That is not the thing that
I see the reasoning. Makes sense. Like I said, I don't know. I can't speak definitively to in terms of his career, whether he has captain. I think he went to.
You know what? If Blackwood fails for 2 more innings, people are going to soon start calling for his head.
And that is part of the thing. It's the same thing with the captain. Many people felt like the captain is like a next Darren Sammy situation.
Right.
Probably in the team for leadership more than anything else.
When the captain produce as a captain, he produced as a captain even more so than before he was. In fact, I was seeing him batting positively too as a captain than before. So I could see that was clear that he was going after making more shots and so on. It was a lot more positive, Craig Brathwaite, when after assuming the role. I could see that clearly. But Blackwood has not really shown me anything different from what Blackwood can do. Maybe
Yes.
batting a little longer, yes, maybe spending a little time and so on. I think he probably did a little bit more, but I'm not seeing where it is pronounced that he did a lot differently and improve a lot because he became the vice captain.
Yeah, man. I think it's 250s he has, 2 centuries he has in Test.
Yes, I know that. And
Um,
he, and before they brought him back, he had 11 50s and a century. And I was
yeah,
wondering why did they drop him in the first place?
yeah. Well, that's
In
West
fact,
Indies
in
cricket.
fact, in fact, I think that Blackwood at the time when they dropped him could have even done well. He has only played about 2 one-day internationals, and that's surprising to me for the temperament
Yeah,
that
that's
he
the thing
has.
for his temperament. Yep, yep,
Yes,
yep, yep.
and I think he could
Always
have
wanted
played
that.
more than
And
two.
that's what I think. I also think with John Campbell. I think John Campbell, to me, seemed to be. I guess they have to perform in the regional tournament as well. I don't. Blackwood is not my regular fixture in the Jamaica Talawas team. I don't know why, and that's
Yeah,
T20 because of his. But I know that you're a busy man. Listen, this was very good. We have gone. This is what almost an hour in no time, and
yeah.
I know you had a long day. Look like you're still in the office and thing, and I know
No
you have
man,
to.
I'm at home, man.
Yeah, man. But really appreciate your time, Sir Principal. There you have it, people. Mr. Owen Speid, the one who should have been in football. The other brother should have been here, doing this. I sent the link to him. I suppose when he sees the video, he's going to do his interview with me and just say, let me correct certain things.
Yeah, I will tell him a few things too about the football. Right now, I believe that the reggae boys that they need to have a technical director now. I think they need to have one. And in fact, I am not seeing any in Jamaica, unfortunately. I think that they need to go abroad for a technical director.
Okay, I agree with you. I believe so. I believe that we need somebody in that. But the thing is, I guess we need to get your brother and ask him this question. Can they afford to pay for, because there seem to be a cash strapped organization? And I think these are some of the limitations with the football. Do they have the kind of money to pay someone from overseas? And is there someone in Jamaica who could take that on? But man, that's for our next program, our next day when they talk about football. But really appreciate it, your
No
time.
problem.
And then well, once the team is named and the game is finished, we'll come back to see if we got our pick wrong. So let me tell you again, those of you who are listening who will watch afterwards, we have Shea Hope and the captain Craig Brathwaite opening. Um, and Kuma Bonner at three. We're just going. The rest of the batting lineup would be Kyle Mears, uh, Blackwood, Ralston Chase, Jason Holder, Joshua De Silva, Raheem Cornwall, Kemar Roach, and Shannon Gabriel. That's our 11. I think it's a solid 11, and we should not be bowled out.
And they should give Chase the ball a little earlier than
Yeah,
when they can't get a wicket. That's the only time they are looking to throw the ball to Chase.
to him. Yes, maybe they should give him more of a ball here. But yeah, man. But thank you again, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day, sir Principal. Listen, for those of you out there, listen, like the video, share it, and make a comment. Right? If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, also take some time and subscribe.
All
Thank you again.
all
Go ahead.
kind words, all kind comments. No other way.
No man, you're a principal. They always treat the principals and the pastors right, you know. It's when you have regular people that they get all kind of criticism and stuff.
Oh
But
boy.
yeah,
All
man.
right. No
Yeah, man.
problem
Thank you
at
so
all.
much and
Blessings
enjoy the rest of the
upon you.
evening. All right,
Bless.
people, have a blessed day. Stay safe, people, wherever you are. And the pandemic is easing up, so let's continue to be wise. All right.